Hello, hello! I am here, I'm not
Hello.
dead. Even though it's been like 16 minutes since I was technically supposed to start.
Wow, way to go.
Just on starting screen for that long, it's fine.
You are late, madam.
It's fine.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early.
Exactly!
Wasn't technical difficulties.
Oh, man. But yeah.
He likes dual
Before
wielding
we
too much to
begin,
be a
I
wizard.
would like to say one thing.
I mean, pun kettle on.
Yeah, for those who are listening, I am on a delay, and I don't know if you all can hear me very well, but I am on a delay. I'm on like a 1 or 2 second delay, so if I talk over anybody, I apologize in advance.
Yeah. So, today on the docket, we are going to be doing some wonderful world building and lore building for a galaxy that is going to be a part of my PingTuber lore. And eventually my VTuber lore. So, that is on the list. But before we get into that, I believe introductions are in order.
We have an
Yes,
order.
please. Who wants to go first?
I was gonna say, with this group, order is kind of off the table.
Yeah, I know.
Chaos, baby! Chaos!
It's all chaos all the time.
All the time.
Wonderful anarchy.
I'll
Blood
go
from the
first.
blood god!
Even
I'll go
so,
first.
there's like 7, I think, of us here right now, so we should establish an order so we don't talk over each other in introductions.
Mm-hmm.
How about alphabetically?
Yeah, just go from the top down. So, I mean, Shane, you're up first.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chain, or Chainsword83. I've been with this group for a bit. Is there anything else you wanted me to say?
Up to you.
I've been in the gaming scene for a little bit, not on streams or anything. I'm also the oldest of this group, so I need my prune juice. Where's my prune juice?
Okay, Grandpa, go take your medicine now.
And if you're familiar with Warhammer 40,000 fiction, fan fiction, you may be familiar with Chainsword83 from a Caiaphas Cain fanfic. Plug for the plug god!
Yes, plug away.
Corn will have blood, yours or theirs.
Alrighty. I believe next is the lovely. I think he's muted.
Arthonian, can you please turn your
Yes, he
mic
is.
on and
There we are.
Speak to the audience.
Well, it's like, greetings, everybody. Considering this is not my usual name, I was thinking I was much farther down in the list.
Yeah. Surprise.
why do you think I said alphabetical?
That is fair. But yes, I am Dorthonian. I'm pretty much here to assist with building. Pretty much here to assist with building various things as needed. Other than that, not really much.
You also go by another,
Yeah, but let them figure it out.
fair.
People
Look,
are
it's
already.
yeah. It's like, besides, they're your. They're your fans. It's like they're your fans. They should know. It's like they should know. It's like they'll know me by the sound of my voice.
Hopefully, at any rate, considering.
Just follow the soothing sound of my voice!
Alrighty.
That's a reference. Me making a reference? Say it ain't so.
Mm. Next is Doc.
Hey, what's up? The name's Doc. I am resident grumpy man, I guess, of the group. I
was gonna say rules lawyer.
rules there too. I enjoy long walks on the beach. My full username is Dr. Jackal. It used to be Koi if anyone, I don't know if Zell would have talked about me. She probably wouldn't. I am currently going to school for to be an X-ray tech, so I know a lot about biology and radiology and like radiation interactions with matter, which will come up. You'll see.
You'll see. Alrighty.
Oh, also, fair warning, if I believe we're doing multiple of these, so it should be noted that I am currently using a headset that is literally being held together with duct tape, and by the next time I do one of these, I will have a different headset.
Yes. We will be doing multiple of these because I don't
yes, the power
imagine
of orc ingenuity.
the world building. I don't imagine it's done in one sitting. So.
Rome wasn't built in a day, nor was this galaxy.
Yeah, no.
Indeed.
It's funny because we'll get to that in a moment.
I was about to say, consider all things considered. Choice of words.
It's a great introduction for you, Merce.
Amazing!
It's your turn. Go for it.
Yeah. I'm in this game Nero or Mers or Dan or that jackass nobody else here wants to be around.
Shut up.
And just
Shut up and accept that you're our friend.
Or else.
but that would mean my insecurities man. That would mean my insecurities aren't valid. But anyway, I've been here before.
Yes. Alrighty. Next.
Oh boy, and then it was me. Hello. I don't know how well I'm coming through, but hopefully this shitbox is transmitting well enough. My name is Chrome. They call me Chrome a lot. I've known some of these fuckers for at least almost a decade now. Some a little less, but I've known them for a while. Basically, I'm the gremlin of the party. I have little quips and commentary whenever something happens, and sometimes it's funny, sometimes I'm annoying. If you hear me, don't worry about it. Also, for anybody that's new here, I say that, but I'm new here. Basically, I'm on a delay, on a 1 to 2 second delay, because my internet is dog shit. And, basically, just, if I talk over anybody, just keep that in mind. I apologize. Yeah. Curse you, bad internet, and also living in the fucking boonies. Carry on.
I was gonna say, sometimes when you said sometimes you're funny, I was gonna say sometimes does a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Yeah, let's just put it. Yeah, we're not gonna beat around the bush anymore. Sometimes I'm funny, and that sometimes is, well, it's under a lot of weight. It's load bearing.
Also, Shark Lord Sorrento, thank
That's
you for
me.
the follow.
Sorry, Zell. That's me. I just realized I hadn't followed yet.
All good, all good.
Yeah, I saw that name and I was about to say, Doc.
Fair. Thank you for the follow, though. Still, thank you. Even if you are still in the same chat as me, thank you.
It's a reference. We know the reference. Carry on.
Alrighty. Last introduction. Unless one of the other people get in here. We'll see.
Righto. My name's Ronan. I happen to be one of the newer people in this group.
Guess we're gonna find out.
Mm-hmm. Some people may recognize me from a couple of my other collabs with the up-and-coming VTuber scene. I'm generally here to add interesting things if need be, and generally be around. I'm good at lurking.
Yeah.
Is that all?
That's all if you want it to be all.
They'll figure it out as soon as I start yelling at the top of my lungs. Let's get this moving.
Indeed. Alrighty. With that, we can now begin.
Remind me again what the structure of this is. Are we going down the line and presenting what we have as a class project, or are we bouncing ideas off one another?
I think it's going to be a mix of both, because I want people to kind of show off what they've already gotten, but I also want people to be like, I'm not sure about this. What do you guys think? Basically.
Okay.
Honestly, it's up to who. It's up to. I put it to a vote. See who wants to do what.
Yeah, because, I mean, I brought you guys on for a reason, so it's also up to you guys, just as it is up to me. So, what do you guys think?
Well, I know me and Darth have something to present to the class.
Fair enough.
I say we each have our own
By the way,
presentation. You first.
do you want to go first, or should I?
You can go first.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, yeah, here's the delay kicking in full swing. I apologize. But okay. So, Zell, real quick, I'm curious. So, since I'm not able to watch the stream, I can't see if there's anybody asks any questions or anything like that.
Oh, trust
I'm guessing
me.
you would probably read those off in
I'd read
case
those
anybody
off.
does ask.
I would read them off if people have questions. Yeah. That is the plan.
Okay. Gotcha. Got it. Okay. Sorry. Anyways, that out of the way. The floor is now yours, Nero.
I was going to say, each of us gives our own presentation, and then once it's done, floor opens for questions and, well, whatever else.
Fairly academic and boring, but it's quality.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked in
So long
school,
as
it
it
can work
works.
here, just add in a few more knob jokes.
A few is limiting.
And also, much more swearing.
Much more sure. Yes.
At least 2,000% more swearing, but regardless.
Indeed.
Alright. So now that we've somewhat agreed that class presentations are in order, who would like to present first?
If you guys wanted to, you guys could have a roll-off. Gamify it a little bit.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what? I volunteer as tribute. I'll go first. I'll let you all roll off.
As you
Alright,
wish.
fair enough.
That's fine.
Alright. Just gonna get this out of the way. Because I don't like dealing with suspense, let's put it that way.
That is fair enough.
Alright. So, how should I go about doing this?
The server has, oh yes, it does have Avery in it. Alright, for everyone else, while Chrome is thinking all that stuff up, D20, D50, D100. And high or low first.
Well, I'll go ahead and decide that, I suppose. Let's just keep it simple. Do you do a D20 and then, highest to lowest?
Sounds fair to me.
Please do it in bot commands where I can see it, so that
All
we
right.
know.
I got nothing
Naturally.
there. I'm just here to laugh at you all.
That is fair.
9.
Look at them, point at them, and laugh.
9, 6.
I'll let you all finish rolling before I begin.
Fair enough.
Another 9!
I see somebody already tied.
Oh!
Well, that's not good. No.
Alright, Darth. You and me, roll one more time.
Yeah, you guys roll one more time, because you guys got tied.
11.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if it's another
I can make
11.
a terrible joke
Nope.
here, but I won't.
Okay.
Alright, so it looks like it's going to be Doc, then me, then
All right.
Darth, and Ronan after Chrome.
Yep. Chrome, the floor is yours.
So, alright. So, in this, let's see, how do I want to put this? Okay, I think, yes, alright. In this massive galaxy that we are currently in the process of making closer towards the center, there exists a race of sentient machines, very humanoid, hyper intelligent, very, very much knowledge seeking sort of race. They are known as the Astral Seekers. Their homeworld is known as Asimov 1. Their star, Asimov Prime. Note that their star is artificial. This race, they do not know why they exist, or how they came to exist. All they know is whatever created them has to have existed at some point, and they are basically scouring the galaxy, trying to find any evidence that they are not just some sort of miracle of life, because they know they are artificial. I mean, look at them. Basically, in short, if you've heard of a YouTuber called Seth Zinge, rather, one could describe them as a race of robots looking for God. Their God, anyway. They have a fairly wide expanse in the center of the galaxy. They are also quite old. They're not as old as some places around here, as far as they know, because anytime they try to go so far back in their history, it just stops. They do not know why. But regardless, I digress. Let's see here. They are mostly peaceful. They are very welcoming to those who are not, nuts and bolts, if you want to look at it like that. And their race is broken up into 24 tiers, each one being a different sort of role within their society. It used to be 23, but the 24th one was added later. If I'm making sure my count is right, but regardless, at one point in their history, 7 millennia passed. They went to war with a race that found them to be an abomination, so to speak. And as such, they had to resort to drastic measures. A superweapon that, after using it, created a giant void in the galaxy. Well, giant is relative. It's more like a small pocket in the grand scheme of things, but this pocket is several light years across. There is just nothing there. Because of this, this is an event known as the Great Tragedy. And this little pocket that was created by this superweapon, which, by the way, that weapon is now non-functional. It is completely broken, and even if they did try to fix it, they shouldn't. They won't. They refuse to, out of principle, rather. This little void is known as the Weeping Void. Yes, I know I'm very unoriginal with the names. Regardless, they originally had 23 groups. There is now a 24th. Class Omega, the Ebon Guard.
Did he go or did I go?
You went.
Oh,
The
well,
only one who had the Transformers theme playing through their head when he was talking about living machines.
I just thought, Robot Galaxy, reminding you that caste systems aren't inherently human or animal.
I was thinking, Class Omega, sounds familiar.
I know.
Yeah, I kind of squinted at that one.
Yes. Squinty Fry.
Okay, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Hello.
We hear you.
Yeah, we hear you now.
We hear ya.
Can anybody hear me? Okay.
No, we
so-
can't.
There we go. Sorry, for some reason my shit decided it wanted to break on me. Like I said,
part of
live in the
the course.
boonies. It's a bit of a shit box. What else is new? In other news, the sky is blue. But let's see. Anything else I need to touch up on with their broad history? I think I've got most of it. But well, okay, let me just sum it up then real quick actually. Basically their whole gist is they go around and search for like various tidbits of knowledge that could lead them to their creators.
Yes. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Father, why won't you love me?
But if anybody, Father went to get the milk and he's not coming back. They're trying to find him. Anyways, I believe that is all I have to say for right now, and I will try and answer any questions later.
Or if anyone has any questions right now in the call, feel free to ask them now, because then that way it's relatively on topic before we switch to the next person.
Okay.
Please, feel free.
So they're divided into basically a caste system.
More or less.
Okay.
Each one is named by one of the letters of the Greek alphabet.
Okay then. Well, that's certainly interesting.
Yeah, I even have the list over in another tab, just kind of like just right there if I need to read off what they all entail. But I don't feel like we want to be talking about what I've got created all night. I want other people to share their ideas.
I do highly love that almost everything ranks above the police, the lawkeepers. That is very funny to me.
Well, to be fair, there is the military, in case anything else happens to, have a problem. But then again, it's not like a tiered system, it's just what they're named. I haven't actually put them to a specific tier. If that makes any sense.
That does make sense.
I just went down the list and filled them in as I went. Yeah, I didn't put any tier to them, it's just what sounded right at the time.
Got it.
To basically sum it up, I pulled it out of my ass.
As most world building stuff is, yes.
I did put some amount of thought into it, I will admit.
I can't remember my Twitch password. Bobby!
I'm sorry, that should not have fucking got me laughing as much as it did. I apologize.
Don't. I did it to be funny. Although I seriously can't remember my
Okay, good.
password, let alone my username, so,
Your what password? I'm sorry.
Quit.
But any other questions real quick before we carry on? I'm asking both you and the Twitch chat that is listening to us right now.
So far,
Oh, they're on a delay.
They're on a bit of a delay.
Alright. Give a few minutes.
I'm on a delay too! My kindred!
Well, they're on a delay by design. You're on a delay by bad ISP.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fucking problem.
Case in point!
Yep. What else is new?
Indeed.
Beep 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 beep. I'm waiting to see if anybody has any questions. But then again, I can't see the Twitch chat, so I don't know if anybody will ask anything.
Twitch chat is
Don't
being quiet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. If they got no questions for the sentient robots looking for God, then that's fine too.
Again, I just have the Transformers theme song playing over and over and over again in my mind right now.
As much as I wanted to, I did not give them the ability to turn into cars. That is not something that I wanted to do. I was not going to get a lawsuit.
I mean, Hasbro, as we've seen from Magic, Hasbro will sell the fucking Pinkertons after you.
You will.
Yeah, let's not do that. I'd rather keep my shins, thanks.
Yeah.
Give it a couple more minutes, and I think we can just continue on, if that's cool with you all.
Honestly,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
Just to make sure that they, in case there is anything today, which, tough crowd, maybe, I don't know. I don't know your Twitch chat.
Sometimes it's slow. But not much I can do about that.
Gotcha. Yeah, plus, small crowd.
Yeah.
Wake up!
Okay. I think we've given them enough.
If you all are sleeping, that would be weird. Honestly,
I think we've given
I
them
think
enough.
that might be a decent enough time. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, let's continue on.
Alright.
Alright.
So next would be Doc.
Yeah. I haven't been working on this for a huge amount of time, so right now I don't have a whole huge amount. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. So the world
And
of
just no life making everything, loser.
my world is called Querl. Spelled Queral. And it is fun because it's a typical medieval fantasy world. Except, you know how people say they want their magic and their worlds to feel like a living, breathing thing? In this world, it is. It's a living, breathing thing that has been given a physical form. It's immortal, and also the planet's been being bombarded with radiation. So there's mutations abound, including to magic itself.
Oh boy, there's hypercancer. I apologize.
Beyond that, I haven't written a whole lot of lore, so that's most of what I got so far. I will work more on it as time goes on. But I guess I can say a little more of what I've written. Basically, it's because there's a huge amount of radiation-induced mutations there. Most of the things that haven't mutated to adapt to radiation are dead. So not a lot survives there, but everything that is there is freaking weird, and a lot, and some we can curse. Some fuckers decided that because the whole place is completely mutated and weird, they'd do some genetic experiments there and just throw them down, see how they adapt, see if they survive, and it's basically looked at as a weird science lab by by a lot of people that live above the world and kind of just look through the looking glass down at the weird, funky place.
Okay, that actually brings up a question for me personally. Are they trying to make Doomsday? Because that's exactly how they made Doomsday.
I don't know what that is.
I get that reference,
DC,
and I
DC
appreciate.
villain.
I get that reference, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You probably figured as much.
Nah, they just having fun looking at all the cool, weird mutants and shit.
The second question that I had, you said that this planet is like very much magical in nature, yes?
Yeah, it's typical high fantasy that has been almost eradicated. It was at one point typical high fantasy.
So, because the magic is still there and even the magic itself is being mutated, basically is this just an entire planet's worth of wild magic surges going on right now?
Oh, it's way more fun than wild magic. Wild magic isn't always inherently harmful.
Ah, fuck. That's not good.
Ooh, I should write my own table for how magic functions there.
Oh,
That's a
please,
great
please
idea. I
do. That
love
means,
that.
please do. It means that I have less work to do on that front.
Okay, I do have a question. I do have a question specifically about the magic.
Sure.
What is its base energy source? Are we pulling? Are you pulling? For the magic, is it pulling from around? Around the mage? Are they pulling from inside the mage? Is it particular energy waveforms that are used to create things that act like magic?
Good freaking question.
They're trying to see if you can feel it in a young girl's heart.
I got the distinct opinion that magic there just kinda
It
happened
kind of
and has
vibes.
become an actual organism.
Yep.
So then it's very similar to, like, say, to use a reference, it's very similar to, like, Adam in BioShock, where it's basically a mutation that has formed a secondary nervous system that causes these effects.
Never played BioShock, and no, it's more some wizard or druid or something decided that the majesty of magic should be given a physical form, and it's not necessarily a biological form, it's just a physical form, so it's still inherently part of the world. Like, some people would say nature itself is magical. This is just that taken extremely literally and made extremely literally, to the point that there's just kind of ambient magic in the air that has a form, and because that form is a thing, it can be mutated, same as anything else. Anything else that's like living and breathing.
Is magic
Fascinating.
intelligent?
Yes, because otherwise, sorcerers would be fucking weird in D&D.
Okay.
His Twitch.
Thank you for the follow, Chains.
You're welcome, young lady.
So if magic is both intelligent, a separate organism, and permeates all things on this planet, is magic a overmind?
That's a very funny way of looking at it. I suppose. I
Dark
guess from that perspective,
Dark
yes.
Left.
Does
Star
magic
Trek
have an
flashback.
agenda?
No, because when you're bombarded with radiation for a long, long, long period of time and you can't die, you probably go a little insane. I don't think it's currently sane enough to make an agenda.
So it could have had an agenda at one point, but was mutated beyond all reason.
Yes.
Okay. This is depressing.
Oh,
Yeah!
poor child. What the fuck? What? I was trying to do something kind of like generally chill and just like this, but
Nope.
this over here. What the fuck?
Immediately dial it up to 5,000.
I mean, you're allowed to do so. I literally was
Okay,
just like,
we went
here,
from-
silver platter, make what you want.
This is kind of
we just went from like, you know, decent and like sort of like high sci-fi, like really good stuff to grimdark.
I was told that I could mix high fantasy and sci-fi, and I did so.
Not everything needs to be Star Trek.
I feel bad for the people living on that planet.
Another question.
Fair point.
Yes.
Is magic learned or innate?
Magic works the same way it would in any other planet. It's just
So is it learned or innate?
what are you asking?
It's like magic in your world. Is it learned, i.e., can someone come from off the planet, sit down for a while, and learn how to use the magic? Or is it innate, where only beings from this planet can use this particular kind of magic?
Learned in that, if that's your definition of learned and your definition of innate. Obviously, you can have creatures that are like sorcerers or like D&D regular works, where you can have like wizards and sorcerers, where they have people both born with magic, inherently magic, and people who learn it. But if you come from off-world, and you don't have some form of protecting yourself from over like 50 grays of whole body radiation daily, you probably ain't surviving long.
That brings up another question from me. Do you have to appease magic?
No. It cannot be appeased. Again, it's kind of insane at this point.
I understand that, so magic just allows you to do with it what you will, as long as you learn how to, like, pull at it in the right way.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's apathetic entirely.
Yep. It is a
It's a
tool.
benign, apathetic entity.
So does that make it an eldritch god?
Kinda.
Technically, that means that anybody that would then, if we follow that same chain of thought, does that mean that magic can actually create its own warlocks?
Oh my god.
Can you then technically you could make a pact with pure magic? at that
Hell
point.
yes, I will write a fucking warlock subclass for it.
Perfect. Also, yes, we are having fun
Oh,
snacking.
shit.
Welcome in. We're having a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Homebrew warlock subclass for this planet. Fuck yes.
We got shenanigans here today.
Okay. I think I am good on questions at the moment.
Let's see. I take it that your planet has not yet achieved spaceflight.
They have.
Or rather, I should probably put it a different way. They have not achieved their own spaceflight, but they probably have, like, gained spaceflight through trading with other people.
Yes. Basically, at the current point, similar to Chrome's planet, there's kind of a caste system where anyone who was able to get off the planet, it has probably left the planet at this point. It's not a lot of fun there.
Yeah. I mean, with all the radiation,
most
I
of
would
what
imagine not.
survived
I should also
is
mention, by the way.
mutated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So before we continue on, I should probably mention that it's not just one planet for mine. It's an entire, like, sort of an empire. It's not really an
okay.
empire. They don't call it that. But it spans multiple star systems.
It's a nation/civilization.
Yeah,
Got
we
it.
don't
Mine's
use the
just
word
one
empire
planet.
around these
Yes,
parts.
thank you.
It tends to provoke hostility.
Exactly.
Yeah, mine's just the one planet.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that in case anybody got confused in the chat.
Hmm.
Which so far I haven't heard anything about that yet. So yay. Guess everything's all right.
Hmm.
Anything else you want to share, Doc?
No. The actual questions made me share more than I was expecting to and make up more stuff. That's how world building works. You get asked questions, you figure out answers.
Exactly. That's why we're here as a collaborative effort instead of just one person doing it solo.
The
Indeed.
Alrighty. No more questions for Doc?
Going once, going twice.
anybody from and doesn't look like there might be, maybe, I don't know.
I think we're all good.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Looks like
Gotcha.
And so, from the toss-up, we go to Nero, I believe.
Yeah, we go to Nero.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yep.
Thrusts you into the
Okay.
spotlight. Go.
where's Kyrie? Where's
Alright.
Kyrie? No, I'm kidding.
I get that reference. Anyway, I think bar Darth, or maybe Ronan. I think I have the most written down for mine so far.
Considering I have nothing, you are good.
Okay. So yeah, with the exception of Darth, I've got the most written down so far.
In the Discord server, yes.
Yep. If you guys are fond of history, you're gonna notice some things familiar because my civilization is based very strongly off the Roman Republic.
Shock of all shocks.
If you know me doing stuff Roman inspired is
Check
Me
it
doing
off the
stuff-
bingo cards, everybody.
Yeah,
I have a type.
Mers is doing Roman shit.
It's the free space
That's
on
all
the bingo
from the
card.
road.
No, that's the free space on the bingo card.
Good point.
We march from a crag.
We float from a crag here.
But the civilization is called the Icaria Republic. But it is located in an outer sector of the galaxy known as the Far Marches, which is home to not just the Republic, but another civilization. Though those are the only two really developed civilizations in the Marches. One sec, sorry. Going back through my notes.
All good. Take your time. There's no rush.
But I'm rushing myself.
You're not supposed to. You know this. You can't rush perfection.
Nothing I do is perfect, so I do rush it.
Lies and slander, sir.
Indeed.
I mean, I'm all for empowering Dan, but I feel like perfect is too far in the opposite direction.
Yeah, what are
Listen,
we?
I am the optimistic. Listen, I am very optimistic. I will just put it out there right now.
Yeah, but like what Dan does is good, great, amazing. Perfect, no.
Perfect is not
Perfect
something we
is
achieve
Well,
here.
if you really want to be,
Yes.
if you really want to be technical about it, yeah, perfection is not a thing. But
We don't do that here.
Anyway,
we're doing.
yes, the other civilization is known as Zaris. Originally for the Republic, it was a loose collection of city-states on their planet Icaria, or Icaria Primus, depending on who you talk to. It is a volcanic, basically a death world for anybody not native. It is very rare, even to this day, with Icaria being a part of the wider galactic culture, that outsiders set foot on Icaria Primus itself. Not due to any isolationism or anything, just we don't want anybody to die.
Mm-hmm.
But it was originally a collection of loose city-states that two brothers unified into what became the Icaria civilization. And rather than remove other cultures from around the planet, they more integrated and homogenized them. If you're familiar with Rome, yeah, you know what I'm on about.
Mm-hmm.
The origin
Say
story
this-
of Romulus and Remus.
Originally, the two brothers ruled as kings, but after they both died without heirs, the Senate, which had existed as a governing body under them, decided rather than have other kings, that they would have two consuls that would serve for 2-year terms and not be able to run again for 5 years. Again, if you're familiar with the Roman Republic.
I am the Senate.
But eventually, on their own, the civilization developed to the point where they had short-range space travel. Space travel well enough to be able to colonize Icaria's 3 moons. Which are Damocles, Titus, and Caesarion. However, not long after colonizing the moons, Icaria was attacked for the first time by the people of Zars, who had developed earlier than them. And though the fighting was fierce and took place almost entirely within Icaria's moons, aside from a span of battles where the Zarians tried to invade Icaria Primus itself, which did not go well for them. The Icarians were able to drive them off-world, and were even able to reverse engineer their ship technology to get their own longer-range spacecraft, though they still didn't have full-on interstellar travel. These new ships were used to colonize some of the other planets within the far marches, mostly uninhabited ones. And the Republic reach the full breadth as it stands right now through these colonization efforts. It was during this time that the wider intergalactic community discovered the Far Marches, and the Akarian Republic allied with the Blazes, which Zell will explain soon enough, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I'm saving myself for going through all the stuff that I have for last because, oh boy.
Yep. Yep. And through them we're also given Interstellar.
There's a lot of stuff, man.
And all of them were also given the technology to travel interstellar. It all seemed peaceful for a while until, seeking to avenge their loss, the generals of Zaris once again attacked the Republic, mostly in their colonies, and though a few more battles also occurred once more on Ikaria's moons. But it seemed like Ikaria would be pushed back to Ikaria Primus once more, if not for the efforts of a great legatoi, or general. Oh, if you know your Roman Republic, or congratulations, we're in the Second Punic War. But
Yay.
yeah, it was at the ends of this legatoi. My brain, cooperate, please. Cornelio Vadius, that at the Republic was able to push back and once more defeat Zaris. That was 20 years ago as of the current time period. The Ikarians are becoming more known within the general galactic sphere and becoming more active within wider galactic culture. The two consuls that are serving right now are the philosopher Ciceron and Cornelio Vadius himself, who is currently in his third term as consul and just as popular as ever. He is considered a living legend and the savior of the Republic. If you couldn't tell, he's the Scipio Africanus stand-in.
Hello.
And it is under their current leadership that the Republic is currently flourishing and becoming more involved in galactic politics. The military, a little bit more about the culture, is starting at the age of 16, every citizen of the Republic, be they born on Ikaria Primus itself or in one of its colonies, are required to serve in the Aneanai, which is their military force, the collective name for their armed forces. Be it in a combat role or non-combat role if they don't have the aptitude for actual fighting. The Aneanai, it has multiple branches, though the two most prominent are the ground force is the Skitarans, or the Navis Republicus, which is their navy. The navy is generally considered to be... No, this is another Scipio. Basically another Scipio reference.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But The Navis the Navis Republicus is mostly known for its fighter combat. While their capital ships, the Vesuvius-class heavy carrier, are by no means an inferior capital ship compared to the rest of the galaxy. Their pilots are pretty much second to none, mostly down to their use of a virtual intelligence system called XARC, which allows for a heads-up display within fighters within fighters and capital ships that allow for real-time battlefield updates and coordinated strategies, as well as tracking damage to ships, aim assist, ammunition, etc.
Anything else that you wish to explain today?
One sec.
Are you having difficulty, sir?
I'm good.
Okay.
And with that, I suppose the floor is open to questions.
So, at the moment, I don't believe I have any questions. At least nothing for like very fine details or anything like that. I think you got most of it covered.
Yeah.
That was expertly put together.
Man's had time to work on this. It's very obvious.
Mers is a very excellent, very excellent
He knows how
storyteller.
to world build.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
No. Stop.
Yes, you
Take
do.
the compliments!
Yes. Take the compliments, or we will have your shins.
Take my shins. Just don't make me accept a compliment.
It's the fucking
No.
It's
Not us there.
it's the fucking Uno meme of just take a compliment or draw a 25, draws 25.
And there is the gremlin that I was talking about before. Because if anything, if shenanigans, I require the gremlin.
Anybody have any actual questions? for
That
me?
said, I could also bring out the Skeletor.
Please not on stream.
Oh, you don't want to lose your shit on stream.
No. I kind of want to stay focused because we're not done.
Fair enough. I will save it for later, when you least expect it.
Noted. I don't think there are any questions because I remember, because it was fairly in-depth and very thought out.
This is what happens when I've got multiple dead days at work and I've just all of the time in the universe to think.
Time well
Then I
spent.
think the chat's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, we got lurkers, which we love lurkers.
Lurky, lurky.
If you all want to stop lurking and be involved, that would be cool too. I tease, of course.
One other bit of detailing that I touched on briefly, but I would like to get a bit more into if there are no objections.
Go for it.
Feel free. The floor is still yours.
As mentioned, the capital ship of the Akarian Republic is the Vesuvius-class heavy carrier. The
Does it have a specific name?
There are 5 of them currently in service. The primary, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I had said Damocles for one of the moons. It was Daedalus. That was on May. I don't know why I said Damocles.
Yeah, it's okay.
Probably because they both begin with a D.
But there are 5 Vesuvius class carriers currently in service, with a 6th in construction on Daedalus, which is Ikaria's largest moon and also their primary shipyard. The 5 in service are the Ad Valorum, which leads the First Fleet and stands at the personal command of the consuls. The Arde Invictus is the flagship of the Second Fleet. The Ve Victus is the flagship of the Third Fleet. The Ardenti Astra is the flagship of the Fourth Fleet, and the Lux Aeternum is the capital ship of the Fifth Fleet. And once the one that is currently in construction is finished, it will be the flagship of the newly formed Sixth Fleet.
Ad Victorium.
And the actual last thing is, while Ikaria has to source its FTL and intergalactic travel from off-world, they actually do a very good job on planet when creating fighters, military fighter craft. Most notably, their Ignis class strike fighter, which, while constructed entirely within Republic space, has started to seep out and become known across the wider reaches of the galaxy. For being just an excellently
Good to know.
made strike fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, my character went and we run this as a campaign, will be Ikarian and will fly an Ignis class.
We run this as a campaign.
Such is the way of things. I mean, hell, I'm going to be.
I
mean,
we should
whatever
all
we
do a
do,
character
we
from a
do
world
run
that's
this.
not our own.
What was that, Koi?
Maybe.
I was saying, if we run this as a campaign, we should all do a character from a world that's not our own.
But I've already got so much planned for mine.
Exactly. How would
Same.
you do if all your plans got thrown out the window?
Make new plans, but I don't want to.
I would like to keep my plans.
Or maybe we build characters from all the places that we make and then shift them around and pick at random.
Could work. I always love
no.
a little chaos.
That will be up to you, because I will just be the one running the story.
I love chaos.
I would like not to, please.
See, I like a little bit of chaos too, but I don't like that much. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine keeping what I've got. Thank you. I don't feel like trying to
That's an idea
play
for the
something from somebody else's
second
thing and possibly
campaign
fucking it up.
in this setting.
Fine, I'll acquiesce to stability.
Yeah,
We
can do the everyone from different planets on the second campaign. Campaign 2.
Whenever
it's in
that
the works,
happens.
where we haven't even started to begin to brainstorm for campaign 1 yet. But campaign 2, it's in the works. Mark my words.
We're not even done. We're not even done world building yet.
Exactly.
Or
Nothing like
galaxy
planning
building,
ahead.
rather.
In any
Alrighty.
case,
Yes. Any questions for that whole thing, or is that pretty much covered completely because of how thorough it was?
I got nothing. Anything I could ask has already been answered.
Brain full.
I have a question for Merce. I have DM'd it to him. It has nothing to do with his world building.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
I will look at that after we get off stream.
I know. I just
And I will
wanted to be like, I do have a question.
Just looking at it, I'll probably regret it.
I just wanted to be like, I do have a question, then ask something completely unrelated.
But
That is worrisome.
A general note that I've been working off for this setting. Anybody who knows bugger all about history has probably already picked up on it. But the general gist I've been going for is post Punic Wars Rome. I mean, the Rome part was obvious, but specifically going for post Punic Wars.
Yes.
It's a very particular time during their history, but regardless, it is a interesting time all the same.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Sass, any commentary as the other history dork here?
No, I've already asked my questions earlier.
Fair enough.
Alrighty. Then with that, I believe we're moving on.
The loser of the toss-up was Darth.
Alright, let me just do this there. Alright.
Try to condense it a little bit. I know you have a lot.
It's only
Little papers in the background.
I can hear the papers. How many? How much have you done?
How many people? Enough.
I know you have a computer.
Now.
You don't have to do this.
no, for the most part, it's like, for the most part, it's just all it is. Like all it is 4-ish pages of history. 1, 2, 3, 4-ish pages of tech, and 3 pages of just general governmental structures. I haven't even gotten to biology of it yet.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Zell wanted a thesis.
My brother in Christ, you did not need to go this hard this soon.
Zell wanted a thesis. I'm fairly good and about halfway through a thesis.
I said to be thorough, I didn't say thesis.
In this essay, I will.
So,
Oh dear.
since I won't be reading word for word from my notes, because that would be boring and take way
Otherwise,
too much
we'd
time.
probably be here all night.
Yeah, we'd
Yes,
probably
we
be here all day.
So, basic overview of the Tyran Conclave. They are a race of lizard-like peoples. In terms of D&D itself, they would be the closest thing would be Dragonborn or Dragonkin themselves. Kobolds, kobolds, Dragonborn, dragons themselves, half dragons, all that on there. But the the thing about them is that they can trace their history back 368 million years ago, when when their ancestors first started to evolve on the planet. Now this was and is still a desert planet. Very little water on the surface. All of the water is pretty much kind of trapped underneath the ground. Now, about 276 million years ago was when the continents started to crush together and started to form started really to form mountains. The first mountain, Wutharic, came known as the Risen. And that will come into play when I actually create a second race later on, because I will. That's where the evolutionary line kind of split between those who went up and started really kind of focusing more on using their wings to fly, rather than the Tyrants themselves, who decided to basically dig deep into the sand, into the earth, to create their caverns. Now, crack my back a bit. Biggest thing, big things that happened in Tyrant history. 15 million years ago, in the cavern that would be called Sulkulthas, or the Cavern of Stars Travel, a portal opened up and a Tyrant stepped through. This Tyrant was not known to anybody at the time. He came and called themselves Lorien. The Tyrant learned from Lorien about using the power of the soul and the mind to link events, via cause and effect. This is where they started to first start to practice their magic. And because I know that Doc will probably question me because I threw the question at him, it is actually a mix between both using mental energies, psychic energy basically, to influence quantum effects on the world. For those who are interested, and basically what I mean is that to the Tyran, everything is happening all at once in every bit of space.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, everywhere, all at once?
Pretty much. Everything, everywhere, all at once, all the time, and it's all true. Even the impossible stuff is true. Through Lorien,
Basically, they're warp fuckery.
Not necessarily. So there's a big difference between what would be considered warp and this particular kind of thing. We'll get into that later. The big thing with it is it was Lorien who taught the Tyrant about this, and it was Lorien who who basically he said what would become the Tyrant's grand motto of their schools. If all things happen eventually, why not let it happen here and now? Now, throughout all this time, they're learning, they're trying to figure out their magics, and they're building up their own research and development in these caverns. Until about 13 million years ago. Around 13 million years ago, those who lived on the mountain, who advanced their technology more than their magic, they registered that there was an energy buildup. There was an energy buildup that would, if released, would eliminate the planet. They thought of everything to try and block or try and neutralize that energy force coming towards them, but nothing really worked, or nothing really helped with that. So they basically decided to build arcs and leave. The Tyran were left behind because there was really no communication between those who lived in the mountains and those who lived in the caves. But the Tyran did find out about this energy source through them. And while they couldn't build arcs to leave the planet, they decided that they would gather their 17 greatest practitioners of this magic and weave a spell to cause the planet and the Tyran themselves to cause it to shift just enough to break to break the hold that cause and effect have on the planet and the Tyran themselves, thus causing the planet to be displaced.
Getting into esoteric. Oh no.
Thus causing the Tyran's planet and the Tyrans themselves to be displaced in the universe where the energy came through, destroyed all the stars. The planet remains. It's like their planet remains. Tyran remains. But that time and its now position in the universe became known as the Bragolath, the sudden night. As in, there's no stars at all around them. They can't see any stars. There. But because of that...
Anyone would like to call back to my section of the thing? Sorry.
In doing so, however, they did kind of screw themselves over quite badly. Being that they're now removed from cause and effect, it's like they couldn't really sustain their population. In fact, it got to the point where basically in order to sustain their population, they actually have to go back in time and steal their own eggs in order to bring them back to this time in order to actually raise them to be parts of the, it's like to be part of the society at this point. The Tyrans themselves are basically, there's only right around, I would say, less than 200 million of them left. It sounds like
a lot, but consider this is a whole galaxy.
It's 200 million. It sounds like a lot, but consider there's 7 billion humans on planet Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a big number in the grand scheme of things.
Now, the big thing with the Tyran themselves is once they figured out that they pretty much are kind of screwed, they said, well, we're kind of screwed in the fact that we can't really have kids, but we're blessed in the fact that we kind of... It's like we can kind of keep going. Cause and effect have very little hold on them, therefore they're able to extend their own lives quite a bit. Not indefinitely, but for quite a bit of time. After the Bragolath, they gathered together and said, okay, we need to kind of go out and let those who are on the mountain, let them know that we're okay and the planet's still here. They're fine. They can return home if they want to. Thus, they started their own spacefaring experiments and eventually made their first outer system starship called the Tyrannus Ulsagar, the soul of the species. It's also where that's also where they kind of took the name the Tyrans from. Now, once the Tyrannus Ulsagar was completed, they it's like some of them spread off to the stars, others stayed on the planet to focus in on magic itself. Those that went out to the stars became diplomats, warriors, and basically they were the ones who found the blazes, they found the obsidians, but they decided to remain completely neutral from either side. Just because they figured if there's a war going on, we don't want anything to do with it. It's not our fight, so we'll take a step back from it. Those that stayed on the planet, however, devoted themselves to understanding more about this magic. Specifically, if everything is happening all at once in the exact same place, is it possible to move between those two times? Turns out kind of. They were able through their focus of this, they were able to complete their faster than light travel, the single point drive. Basically what it does is it forms a electromagnetic shield and a quantum charge around their ships, which then basically focuses them into a singular point, and that point is then quantumly displaced between the 2 points that they need to be, and they decide to be in the other point, thus basically allowing them to transport their entire ship from one edge of the galaxy to the other instantaneously. There's not many of these ships, and none of them are outfitted for war.
Sounds like a lot of... Yeah, that sounds it. That what? No, I'm sorry. My feeble mind cannot comprehend the shenanigans.
While they were developing this, they also kind of played around a little bit with with that effect. If point A and point B are connected, are connected to the point where they're the same point, even though they are thousands of galaxies, thousands of light years apart, then what if we took this point and just went back and said, okay, when is this point back at this point in the past? Thus they started to, rather than looking outward to the stars, they looked inward towards time. And thus they created their libraries, including the grandest of the libraries called the Bragor Gondolin, the Wars That Never Were. Now, in terms of how they travel through the system, quote-unquote, normally, I guess you would say, or when they're not jumping from from solar system to solar system and just traveling interplanetary, they actually use solar sails to collect the sunlight and push them along on the solar winds. Let's see. There we go. Now, in terms of their government itself, their civil structure, you have the Council of Tyran, which is the highest form of government. It is only used for matters that will affect the entirety of the Tyran species. It basically just kind of encompasses anything that happens with the Tyran species itself. Day-to-day governmental activities are all handled by the Conclave of Sages, which are the heads of all of the great schools of magic. With the Council of Tyran, it's very much like if war's breaking out in the galaxy at large, they're the ones who kind of decide, okay, are we siding with one side? Are we going to keep neutral, to keep it to our neutrality, all of that.
Hmm.
Now, there are 17 great schools, but there are only really 3 that really get a lot of attention outside of Tyran culture. That would be the point-to-point development schools. That would be the point-to-point development schools. The Cronus Initiative, the Librarian, the Librarius Occult, and the Librarius Occult are the 3 big ones. Point to point, it deals very much with quantum mechanics and basically building and maintaining their drive systems for their faster than light technologies. The Cronus Initiative is peering through time to understand how cause and effect really works, and potentially even get to a point where they can reverse the spell that was cast on the planet and themselves to eventually allow them to reintegrate into cause and effect. The Librarius Occult are the ones who are very much keeping all of the history and the new discoveries of the other schools in order and make sure that they're all scientifically sound. But the other thing with it is that the Tyrans themselves, they do not seek out or they do not start wars. In fact, they prefer, if someone were to come to fight them, they much prefer to talk with them diplomatically rather than actually fight.
Hmm.
But that's
I have no
that's
reason
my
to
time.
fight.
That's all my time. I am ready for questions.
What? Where the what? I don't know what the fuck I just witnessed.
My brain is leaking
I can
out
feel
of
my brain
ear.
pouring out of my fucking ears
My
right now.
brain.
Oh,
You better be ready
Chainsword.
for
Chainsword. It's like honestly, Chainsword and I won't have to worry about this too much, but it's all you youngins that are gonna have to worry about everything I just said being something that is very possible to be happening in the future for humanity.
Oh boy.
Actually, hilarious enough, besides the magic
Oh,
side of
no.
things, the point-to-point travel system is actually based on quantum computing.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness,
So-
yeah.
I'm not Chainsword's the
So,
oldest, but I forget how old you
just-
actually are. Sass.
Chain is the eldest. I am the next eldest. Technically, if
Went into,
I'm gonna use Domare here. If Domare were here, I think then Domare is the eldest, then Chain, then myself.
No.
No,
Chain's
I
older
beat-
than Dominic.
I beat Domray by about 2 or 3 years.
Ah, fair.
Yeah, so Chain is the oldest, then it's Dominic, and then it's you.
So, you remember that whole point about their home planet basically being, sucked into a proverbial void? Sounds awfully familiar to that weeping void that I mentioned for that the Astral Seekers may or may not have caused with their super weapon.
Hey,
Yeah.
oh wait, could we get a no mic section?
Oh, yes! Apologies. There we go.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, I believe we had discussed this before the stream, like a couple days prior. That you said that their home world is basically where the Weeping Void is.
Mm-hmm. It's just called two different things by two different races.
Yeah.
The Weeping Void from the outside, the Bragalath
For-
from the inside.
From the inn. Yes.
And I'm sure that Zell will
I
make
see
a
we've got-
generalized name for it.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah, probably.
Just the one thing that is
Also, I see there's a
generally
couple new
agreed on-
channels.
Yes, I've pulled some ideas out of my ass and I'm starting to develop them.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, Jane, I do have to say, I see the artwork you posted. You have good taste.
Thank you.
I know. Oh, I know that artist. Well, not personally, but I know of them.
Oh, that's a good question. If we play a game in this universe, will that also be streamed or no?
It is my hope to either stream it or make it into some sort of like a podcast.
Okay, in that case, how are we gonna do like licensed art, any of that?
That, I think,
I mean, we can get to it, work with it when we get to it, but it's something to keep in mind
I
if we
know.
plan on streaming this in the
Well,
future.
I mean, that's why I'm just posting it to the Discord, not to...
Right.
on
Got
the
it.
line.
Yeah, it's just like to not name names. I think it would probably be best if we just kept art within in-house and let people sort of, if anybody that's listening, rather, let them sort of paint the picture in their heads.
I mean,
Yay,
yeah, just
Peter of the
be
Mind!
just description.
Yes.
But yes, so I don't believe we have any questions for Darth because that again, thorough considering. Though at the same time, I'd rather it be thorough instead of bare bones, because then that's less work I have to do. But with that, I believe it is on to the last, which is Ronin.
Yep, that would be me. Alright. So, while I don't have anything written down, I do have a story. So,
Oh boy, we love
Somewhere-
stories.
somewhere within your galaxy, there was a planet, mostly oceanic, covered in many archipelagos, that evolved there an amphibian-like species. This species evolved to the point where it gained, sentience, sapience, started tribal, all that stuff. Within those tribal societies, there came many rumors that on certain archipelagos there were mad prophets that were able to summon up the very stuff of dreams, give everything you've ever wanted, take away everything you've ever needed, merely at a glance. Nobody really believed it, and as civilization progressed, they came out that it was very real. The closest thing to magic that anyone there has ever seen. As their awareness of this magical entity persisted, mad prophets then became demigods in their own right. Advancing on to industrialization for the normal people came with thoughts of scientific inquiry onto why are they able to produce such mystical, magical phenomena. And it researched into the modern day, as nobody really tried to stop these scientists, the normal people around this world, until they came to a conclusion somewhere around the Information Age, or Applicative. It was rocks. a very specific rock. One that dashed itself into one of the deeper seas and dispersed its particles around into the aqua life. And then, after being eaten, into the people as they evolve. This matter was wholly outside of this galaxy. It was wholly outside of this universe. It was parallel matter. An entirely different rule set of physics.
Space cocaine.
Yeah. An entirely different rule set of physics accompanied it. One that, when integrated within their biology, allowed these once mad prophets turned gods to manipulate reality at a fundamental level. They think it, they believe it, it exists. And now that they understood what this power was and what it could do, they flipped the fuck out. Weapons of mass destruction were developed as quickly as they could. They destroyed as many of them as they possibly could, but they were fighting against literal reality benders. So it worked about as well as you expected.
About like a fart in the wind.
Mm-hmm. As they lost, they instituted the last-ditch plan they had, as smarter people understood you can't fight reality benders with something from this reality, and you don't have access to whatever bullshit reality they do, so run. Run as far as you can, as fast as you can. And they ran up into the sky, where they then went into space. They couldn't they couldn't adequately go to other planets. It's kind of a slap patch job the way they did it. And they couldn't get outside of system because no FTL. So they were kind of just stuck in orbit on these arcologies made out of broken escape ships, desperately trying to figure out what in the hell they were going to do. Step 1, call for help. Any help. Literally anyone. In every language, machine language, and any imagery of what in the hell just happened. Second, more weapons of mass destruction. Kind of hard with no resources, but there's literally nothing else to do up in space except for live and die. Meanwhile, on the planet, there was a schism. The reality benders, they're still people. People with godly abilities that were able to determine the very fabric of reality, so most people saw when the normal people left a chance to be the gods that they were. Reshape the planet in their image. Until their image conflicted with somebody else's image, and they got into a slap fight that ripped reality asunder on a small plate.
How like life?
Oh no.
This did not sit well with moderates, who saw this as a breakdown of the fundamental rules of our reality that could, in a sense, destroy everything we hold and know dear. So they freaked everyone on the arcologies out by opening up portals to their leaders' arcologies. And they stepped out, were promptly shot at. They made those bullets into something else. I'll leave that to an imagination or historians. And then when they were all out of ammo, they decided to talk. They came to an agreement. These moderates would find something to stop this world-ending catastrophe from keeping on. In return, there would be a place for them in this new world order that they are trying to create. The people from the arcology were skeptical, afraid, and still wanted to kill them even though they had no ammo left. but their leaders begrudgingly accepted because the only super weapon that could possibly help them now would be reality warping. And so these moderate reality benders shifted off into other planes of reality, as how they travel to those arcologies, going from one plane of reality into another, until finally returning with one reality with a certain set of physics that negated the reality bending powers that they have been created with. It was a bitch and a half to get it back, but they did. With this newfound orb, they were able to launch attacks onto a planet that was now completely unrecognizable. And even though they couldn't live there anymore, they still took it back. And killed everyone left on that planet who was not an ally, with vicious efficiency. At the end of it...
So, question.
What?
No, I'll wait until you finish.
Okay. We're mostly at the end. Now
Okay,
that...
well, take your time.
Now that everything had been calmed down, this new world order had to be established. The planet was completely destroyed beyond recognition. It was no longer oceanic archipelagos, it was weird mixes of territories from people that have long since been killed. So, they couldn't live there anymore. The reality benders could live there just fine. In fact, it's one of the few places where they would thrive, as it was the only free space that they could use their powers. As the agreement stated, reality benders are not to leave that planet without sufficient reality anchors.
You fuckers got on my case for making things dark, and then, like, Sass out here with an existential threat to the entire world as we know it, and Ronan out here with fucking, people fighting an unwinnable war and destroying an entire planet in the process.
I never complained.
To be fair, we didn't hear their stories yet.
Yeah.
That after all was said and done, the reigning normal people on the arcologies decided that, you know what, this just happened on our planet. Imagine all the other fucked up shit in the galaxy. Yeah, we're gonna need more guns, bigger guns, all the guns. So the military never disbanded, and instead became an admiralty. The reality benders were never allowed off-world without sufficient callers, visible callers, to make sure that everybody knew they couldn't fuck with reality beyond their planet. Both for the safety of the crew and for their peace of mind. And while it did chafe some reality benders that, yes, you are going to be collared while you're working off-planet, it's a small price to pay to go out into the greater galaxy. And they're generally treated with fear, awe, disgust in private. So now, this new admiralty is sending off fleets into their solar system. When they finally hear back from their cry for help so many centuries ago. I'm going to leave who answered that up to somebody else, because I don't know who else would be in this galaxy and be able to come to their rescue. But they were able to grab regular FTL travel from them, because even though they had the ability to FTL before, they didn't really trust it without a secondary backup. And thus started their great rise to mercenaryhood. Because well, they have reality benders at home. Anything they could ever want or need is on that planet. They don't need to go out there. The only reason they ever go is because the galaxy is out there and we need intel on what we need to shoot. And more ideas about what galaxy-wide parallel universe we should go to next to find exotic materials by, alien fiction. Or perhaps we find a phenomenon and want more of that in a different galaxy.
I am 4 parallel universes ahead of you.
Correctly so. And the only interesting bit of lore after that... Sorry, you were about to say something?
Sorry, you go first.
Got it.
No, I thought you were done. Go, finish your thing.
One last thing. Because they're mercenaries, all major COs within their admiralty are given a free commission. This free commission allows them to create a migrant navy. This migrant navy is semi-autonomous, independent, and only needs to send back tribute of knowledge and worldly possessions from this material plane. In exchange, they're able to go forth and do just about anything they'd like to do. Mainly, fight in other people's wars, kill what would possibly doom their race and other races, and, I don't know, have fun. Every CO's different, and the migrant fleets are as numerous as there are captains, as well as the citizens that they induct into those migrant fleets to keep them up and running for logistical means and entertainment means. Just so long as you don't try to steal the reality bender on board the flagship.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea. Sounds like, anyway.
Mm-hmm. And with that, that's all I got for now. No names at the moment.
So, basically, from what I'm understanding, and this is for all the 40k nerds here, which I assume is precisely 3 of us, maybe 4. They sound like what happens if the orcs were competent, and they're the memes about how they can fuck with reality. Just that, but also make them serious.
Serious orcs. That's a hard thing to say.
I know, and it feels slightly terrifying now that I've said it. I apologize to anybody who knows to the 40k nerds here. What have I done?
Yeah, I guess that would
and
be...
now I have become Death, the Destroyer of Worlds.
Yeah, I guess that would be an apt summation.
It's not the exact explanation, but it's one that just came to my mind, or at least a comparison.
Yeah. Any other questions or statements?
Would you like a channel in the Discord so you can put all this down?
Sure, I'll write in when I have time.
What do you want it to be called? Mercenaries?
Call it the Admiralty.
Resisting the urge to make a Final Fantasy XIV joke.
There we go, channel made. Done.
Great.
Alrighty. I suppose it's,
Patron said something important in general.
You have one new message.
You have one new message. Depends on what everyone else has going on, I suppose. Because I know some of us are gonna have stuff to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't plan on... I mean, my sleep schedule is ass right now, so I don't plan on going to bed for a little while longer.
I mean, I could stay awake a bit longer, because I don't necessarily have to go into my usual thing tomorrow, since my gal won't be there.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to get off probably in the next half hour due to me having to wake up fairly early.
That
I
is
also
fair and
have to
valid.
be up early, but I
Same
can
here.
stay up then just fix my sleep schedule next week.
I will also have to get off here shortly. Be up for work tomorrow.
Same.
I also have things to do tomorrow, but at the same time, I'm down to continue to do whatever is.
Well, unless there's questions for Ronan, I'm ready to give some things for one of... I've got enough on one of the things I've come up with while this has been going on to go into a little bit on it, if people want.
Go for it.
Okay, so I have come up with 2 races. I will start with the Nuldred, as those are the ones I have the most developed so far. I apologize ahead of time, since Doc was saying, "Oh, you all were complaining about my thing."
I was joking.
I know, but I'm joking with you. So, these are basically, this race is known as the Nuldred, but that is not their true name. Their true name is the Aiel Ia, or Builders of Shells in their own language. The Aiel Ia began as shellless ocean-dwelling mollusks with multiple prehensile arms and large brains. Basically, they were sapient octopi.
Cthulhu Fatagan.
Yeah. They were a prey species due to being shellless and stuff, but due to their intellect and the dexterity of their limbs, they were able to manipulate their environment, hence their name, Builders of Shells. They began to build undersea forts out of coral and other materials. As they progressed, they became mechanically proficient. Technology and innovation became their society, their goal, their very religion. They built weapons, they built vehicles, they built marvels. Eventually, they wiped out their predators, claiming their ocean world as their own. But even then, they continued to innovate, to create, to build. Eventually, their entire world was covered by a shell of technology. Think of it like a Dyson's sphere, only around a planet rather than a star. It was at this time that they developed the Ayanu, the steel shell. They were able to transfer their minds into technologically created shells, removing their physical weaknesses and expanding their cognitive abilities. In their minds, they had finally achieved perfection.
For the Omnissiah?
Yes. But
Oh no, he made Octopus Mechanicus.
yes, that's pretty much where this came from. What if sentient octopi Worship technology.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's oh no.
But they had a problem. Their technological rise had completely drained the resources of their planet. Like, again, they have literally constructed a shell of technology around the whole planet. Like, there is no more minerals, there is no more metals, recycling is not cutting it, and they are starting to, they don't have anything to innovate anymore. They can't build. That's their whole thing. That's their entire society. So they are approaching not only societal collapse, but just potential extinction event. So they
We
did.
require more minerals.
Yes. We require more minerals. So
Need.
Anyways,
So they did the only thing they could. They began to turn their minds to the stars. They developed first space travel to other planets in their system very quickly, and rapidly expanded to interstellar travel. So they expanded to the stars, hungry for resources. It was then that they encountered both other races and magical abilities. Their own world was bereft of magic. So this was something totally unknown to them. They were entirely about technology. They did not have any idea about magic or supernatural abilities. And what is new and unknown can be scary. So, afraid of a new threat, they destroyed this new potential threat as they had all those upon their own world. It was then that they became known to others as the Null Dread. They would descend on worlds, conquering them with their superior technology, draining them of resources, and turning the populace into either slaves or biofuel. From star to star they go, consuming and building upon the lifeless husks they leave behind. And that is the
what the fuck?
Well, I see a civilization that is aligned with the Obsidians.
Hey, Zell. Was your lore this fucking dark before we got a hold of it? Before you let the rest of us mingle?
Are you beginning to regret letting us
no,
into your world?
No, I'm not regretting it at all. It makes it more diverse in my opinion, and I love it.
And the more problems there are, the more stuff we get to, the more plot points we get to work and fix.
Exactly.
More problems means more potential solutions.
The other ones are
So-
more noble bright. But I won't get into them for now because, again, I put more development into the Null Dread. So, any questions?
At the moment, I don't believe I've got anything.
Yeah.
No
keep in
questions, but a comment.
mind- Go ahead.
They're going to make an interesting counterpart to the Akarians, who are also magically inert and militaristic.
Yep.
As well as the Astral Seekers, who are also magically inert because they are machines and very militaristic.
Well, they would probably be like, for the, they would probably, for the Astral Seekers, be like, we like you! You aspire to the you don't aspire to the purity of the machine, you are the purity of the machine.
I think we just made a 4x.
Yes, but we don't completely But yeah, no, it's just like, but they would just be like, okay, yes, however, we don't completely drain every one of our planets for resources.
Yeah,
Because we have you know non machines in among our ranks.
we don't drain all their planets for resources yet, but you can learn.
Yeah, they'll basically be like, don't worry, we will free you of this weakness also.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fight about it. So I guess safe to assume that yeah, problems are going to be had.
Yep, problems are
Or
gonna be
the
had.
problems are gonna be had.
So
So safe to assume that the Astral Seekers are on the side of the blazes in the lore. Since we talked about that before with some of the other races that have been created.
Basically, the way that I phrase it, the Blazes and the Obsidians, they've been around since time immemorial in this galaxy, aka they were there at the very beginning. And they still haven't gone out. The Blazes are the good guys, the Obsidians are the bad guys.
I am very getting Babylon 5 vibes here. Vorlons and Shadows, baby. Vorlons and Shadows.
I feel like my small planet in the corner of the galaxy is entirely neutral.
That is fair.
Oh, so you're Switzerland. Good to know.
Just like the Conclave, who's also kind of neutral.
Fair enough.
No, we're Switzerland if Switzerland wasn't a radiated hellscape.
The Conclave is neutral, unless there are some people in there that are taking sides.
Yeah. It's like, I'm pretty sure the Ikarians are blaze aligned, the Seekers are mostly neutral, but still kind of leaning towards the blazes because they do trade every now and again, I would assume.
Oh yeah.
We got the mercenaries who are just, well, they're there. They do whatever they feel like.
They go for whoever pays, pretty much.
So, so no questions about the Nuldred?
Not on my end, no.
Not currently.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Larwick.
Basically, if you if the Adeptus Mechanicus went full Reaper, so that's what they are.
By the way, so could I get a section for
That's
Feral
great.
in the world building zone?
Yes. I'm assuming you just wanted to be the name of your planet?
Yeah.
Alright, let me...
I'm not writing an entire freaking overarching empire. One planet's big enough.
Yeah, same.
I'm surprised there hasn't been really many questions from chat, if at all. There've been it's just been lurkers today.
Lurkers
I
today.
mean, Zell doesn't currently have like a whole huge amount of people watching. There's 7, including me right now.
Yeah, I'm still a very small streamer.
So 6 unknowns.
I'm watching.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. I mean, so 5 that we don't know about.
Yeah. One day there'll be a big streamer, be able to put on her big girl streamer pants, but that day is not today.
It is not today, no. I will. The hope is to get there eventually, but
In time, mayhap.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, again.
For now, just a little tiny group of shenanigans.
Yeah, just shenanigans.
Sorry.
But again, as has been mentioned, I'm the old man here, and coffee can only take me so far. So.
Alright, then I will save all of my stuff that I have for the next time we do this, so then that way I can give you...
You go ahead, Zell. I still
Considering-
got a little bit in the tank.
I'll try to condense it then.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and explain. If you want to go ahead and explain what you've got going on, then go right ahead.
I might be able to stab. How much can you condense? Because I did see there was a lot.
There is a lot, yeah. The blazes have the most.
Think you can fit it into like 20 minutes? Because if not, I gotta head out. I gotta be up pretty early tomorrow.
I'd rather be safe than sorry and save this for next time, so then the other people that weren't here come in and know kind of what's kind of going on.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Just because I'd rather be safe than sorry, because I know we're approaching like 10:30 right now for us, and a lot of people have to do stuff tomorrow, so it's just like, I'd rather be safe than sorry and not push it too far.
Yeah. Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, plus keep it in, fairly concise, bite-sized chunks for both us and the viewers here that are currently listening. Which, to all of you who are still listening, yes, that means I am talking to you all.
Yeah. Quite literally, it's just like, I want to take it slow, because then that way those that weren't here can actually hear what I've got so far, and also kind of hear the stuff that I have the bare bones of, like, aka I only have, like, for some of them, and because I have more than just that, but I have other civilizations that I've kind of got, like, the government, species, home territory, and planet, and allies and enemies, and that's literally it.
Blaze on, blazes, blaze on.
Yeah.
Zell, is it okay if I finish my shameless plug?
Go for it.
If any of you listening and lurking are into Warhammer 40k fanfiction and you like the character of Caiaphas Cain, the project I'm co-writing right now is called Caiaphas Cain, Daemon of the Imperium. Basically, the whole concept is, what if Caiaphas Cain got turned into a Daemon Prince of Slaanesh, yet stayed faithful to the Imperium? So,
those certainly were words.
Yes. Certainly words. They might make some sense to a 40k nerd, so.
Indeed.
If you know, you know.
Alright.
That's Caiaphas Cain, Daemon of the Imperium. Go look it up on Space Battles.
I will not be doing that.
I'm going to take off then.
Yep. Good night, Zell's fan. Blazes, right? Yeah. Good night, Blazes. And
Good night, Blazes.
Whatever.
have a good time. I'm gonna head out.
Yep, go ahead and head out.
There goes one.
Bye.
Off they go.
There goes two.
Yeah. I'm also going to be heading out here.
Alrighty.
As am I. I was just finishing one last game.
Alrighty.
Alright. Have a good night.
Good
And
night.
then there were 3. I'll head out to...
Good night, everyone.
Yes. Good night, Moon. Good night, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Thank you for joining.
We will return again soon.
Thank you.
Keep
for
your
having
ears
us,
open
Bill.
and your eyes peeled.
Of course, of course. It's always fun to have shenanigans.
Shenanigans!
Shenanigans!
Especially on
Shenanigans!
stream.